news at 8 o'clock on Local 3. A cornerstone of her community killed by a stray bullet. And now 4 men are under arrest, with one due in court this morning. Why police say the men opened fire in a quiet neighborhood.
Major developments overnight in the Mar-a-Lago search. The Department of Justice says there's evidence of Trump's team obstructing an investigation into sensitive documents. How the former president is responding.
And Labor Day is right around the corner. We'll map out the best times to hit the road so your weekend plans don't get delayed.
Yeah, making plans for the weekend. Hopefully that includes a trip to the pool because they're going to be closing at the end of this weekend,
right,
and it's going to be hot. So good time for it, Lisa.
Yeah, it's going to be really hot. We're looking at a long string of 90-degree heat. Yesterday, 90s. Today, more 90s. We're already at 72 in Denver. Beautiful start to our day. A little bit of cloud cover up and through the northern Front Range mountains, but otherwise dry and sunny. We'll be in the upper 70s by 10 o'clock. Closer to 90 by 2. Low to mid 90s for highs today, with just a slight chance for a few storms. And what we're going to see pop up today will likely just produce some gustier winds and a little rain, lightning, and thunder. Low 90s in Denver, upper 80s near Castle Rock and Parker, and then 70s for the mountains. Estes Park today, you're at 77. So it's going to be a pretty warm one statewide, not only today, but when you look at our 10-day forecast for temperatures, we have got a lot of heat building from Colorado west out to the west coast. Some pretty big temperatures, Jason. We'll take a closer look at that and just how much hotter it's going to get coming up.
We have a major wreck coming in from Lakewood right now. If you're trying to get between Kipling and Wadsworth, getting into downtown Denver, we have a big crash right here before you get to Wadsworth, and it's backing up traffic to well before Kipling. So side roads, Colfax is usually a better option. Take a look from the camera out there, and you can see how heavy the traffic is. Everybody's trying to get down into that one lane coming off of Garrison. You can see how badly traffic is backed up in here. So with all this activity, it's going to keep this slow for at least another half an hour plus. Take a look at the drive time right now. It's registering at over a half an hour right now coming in from that at least before Kipling. So I-70, maybe Colfax, better options for you. Alameda just has a lot of traffic lights, but you could try to use that as well. A lot of heavy traffic over there on C-470. Same thing through the Denver Tech Center. Earlier problems here have been cleared off, but still very full off and on the freeways in a lot of spots. If you hear that Pecos is closed there between Highway 36 and 72nd, it's not. One lane is open both directions through that crash scene.
We have some breaking news just in. The U.S. has just cleared new and updated COVID-19 boosters. The boosters from both Pfizer and Moderna target the newest Omicron variants as well as the initial strain of the virus. NPR reports the new shots will likely be distributed after Labor Day to get ahead of a potential fall surge in the virus.
Well, this morning, police are still looking for a 5th suspect for the murder of this beloved mother and community member. Ma Kang was hit by a stray bullet last month. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us from the courthouse, where one of the 4 suspects is in custody and will go before a judge this morning.
He will, and Ma Kang was a mother of 4. She was just unloading her groceries on that July 15th day when she was hit and killed by a stray bullet, and now she is finally getting some justice. One of the 4 people that police say was responsible for that is actually going to be inside of that courtroom that is here behind me. He is going to be standing right in front of a judge. We expect that to happen later this morning. Now go ahead and take a look at your screen. These are just 4 of the people that police say were responsible for Kang's death. They're all being charged with first-degree murder. Here's what police told us happened that night. They said these men said they saw a vehicle circling New Freedom Park back on that July day that they, quote, didn't believe what belonged in the area. The suspects shot at that vehicle. Police believe it was one of those bullets that ended up killing Kang. And new this morning, we're hearing from Sharon Knight. She's the CEO of a nonprofit Kang worked with pretty often. She told us Kang's son was happy arrests were made, but is still, understandably so, dealing with the loss of his mom. She also told us he's dedicated to bettering his community, reducing crime there, which is something she wants too.
For years, we've been asking for more services, more police coverage, more response, more infrastructure, and it just hasn't happened. What we need to do is find a way to stop that, to alleviate that no matter what part of town it's in.
And it is important to mention that police do believe there is a 5th suspect out there. We'll let you know when police arrest him. We also know that this really did spark a lot of change, especially when it came to Verizon and how they route some of their emergency calls. When Kang's family called 911, instead of having that call go directly to Denver and then getting them some help from here, that call was routed to Aurora, which just delayed the process of getting her some help when she was shot and killed. Now we know Verizon is going to be making changes to its emergency call routing system. That's going to be done nationwide, and the plan is for those changes to start next year. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
The city of Boulder is voluntarily pausing enforcement of its ban on assault weapons and large capacity magazines. The city passed the bans in June following the mass shootings in Uvalde, Texas and Buffalo, New York. Rocky Mountain Gun Owners is suing Colorado cities that have enacted new gun laws. Yesterday, the city of Boulder, along with Boulder County, Superior and Louisville, agreed to consolidate the cases against them into one lawsuit.
It helps both sides of not wasting resources of going out and suing, every town and having to pay for every lawsuit. Now we have one cohesive lawsuit.
We do have some breaking news from overnight. The Justice Department is now responding to former President Trump's request for a so-called special master to review the documents seized from his Mar-a-Lago home, and the feds are not holding back. They delivered a blistering response, calling on a federal judge to reject the request while releasing evidence of highly classified material they found. ABC's Pierre Thomas has the latest.
This morning, the first look inside the FBI's dramatic search of Mar-a-Lago. This photograph showing document after document labeled secret and top secret in bold red letters, recovered at an unsecured resort. Look closely, you'll see one labeled HCS, initials for Human Intelligence Control System, meaning it likely contains information about or the identities of U.S. spies and informants. DOJ's 36 motion challenging Trump's need for a special master also provides the most detailed narrative thus far of why the FBI took the extraordinary step of searching the home and offices of a former president. The new details include a rare submission of grand jury material from an ongoing investigation, revealing in May a grand jury subpoena was issued for classified documents stored at Mar-a-Lago. The filing describing how FBI officials went to the resort to pursue the material in June. DOJ suggesting that the Trump team was misleading at every turn. This filing includes a June 3rd document from a Trump attorney certifying that all classified documents had been turned over. But soon afterwards, the FBI uncovering multiple sources of evidence indicating that the response to the May 11th grand jury subpoena was incomplete and that the classified documents remained at the premises. And for the first time, startling specific allegations of obstruction of justice. According to the court filing, the FBI developed evidence that government records were likely concealed and removed from the storage room at Mar-a-Lago, and that efforts were likely taken to obstruct the government's investigation. Some of that classified material found in a series of desks in Trump's office. More than 100 documents recovered. Again, this after Trump's attorney had claimed that all the material had been turned over.
DOJ officials claim former President Trump had little to no standing to request a special master review of the documents based on issues of privilege. They said there could be no claim of executive privilege because the classified documents do not belong to Trump. They belong to the U.S. government. Former President Trump responded this morning to the DOJ on his Truth Social platform. In a post, Trump said, quote, "Terrible way the FBI during the raid of Mar-a-Lago threw documents haphazardly all over the floor, perhaps pretending it was me that did it, and then started taking pictures of them for the public to see. Thought they wanted to keep them secret. Lucky I declassified."
CDOT is planning to fine the contractor in charge of the Central 70 project tens of thousands of dollars all over the flooding issues that stranded drivers in early August. The contractor said the drainage pumps didn't automatically turn on, causing that flooding. CDOT isn't sure how much it will cost to fix the drainage problems. But you're going to want to plan ahead, flooding or no flooding, if you're traveling anywhere this Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, traffic will be bad enough without the flooding. It is one of the busiest traffic periods along I-70 into the high country. And according to Summit Daily, westbound traffic into the mountains is expected to be the busiest mid-morning to late afternoon Friday, and then pick back up again early Saturday morning. The busiest time for traffic back towards Denver will be mid-morning to late afternoon on Monday.
Well, plenty of us looking forward to that long holiday weekend. The heat will be sticking around, though. Lisa is tracking a stretch of 90s ahead in your Super 7-day forecast. And Broncos country had to make some major cuts yesterday. We'll have a look at the final 53 who will be suiting up in the orange and blue for the start of the season in Seattle. Plus a new update. When will the Artemis mission take off? We'll tell you. It might be a little easier for you to watch now.